genes is not everything. But yes, genes are required, and those genes which become active are the ones that will exhibit in our life. And what makes the genes active? The environment that is provided to them. And therefore, environment plays a big role. So, environment plays a big role. In fact, in biology also, when we have studied embryology, there is a stage of the embryo where the zygote is formed. It becomes a ball of cells, it's just a bundle of cells, and then these cells secrete a juice, liquid inside, fluid inside, and that ball becomes elongated. Human embryo की बात कर रहे हो. So as it becomes elongated with the fluid in between and these two layers of cells, at this time the cells starts becoming specialized. Yani ki in this location, whichever cells are, say they are going to become nerve cells. In this location, the cells are going to become muscle cells. Like that. They start getting differentiating. तब तक वो सारी cells एक जैसी होती हैं. ठीक है? And actually, when we study in our spiritual shastras, जीव की entry की जो हम बात करते हैं कि सूक्ष्म जीव उसमें आता है, this is the same stage. Or we talk of the sukshma jeev carrying all the sanskaras with the buddhi, right? So now, if we connect the two things, so clearly it's visible as this jeev brings in all the sanskaras, and jeev also chooses which कौन से भ्रूण में जाना है, कौन से embryo में जाना है. Okay, it has the necessary material, the panchamahabhuta, that it can convert into its needful body for fructifying its whatever karmas at that time. So you can imagine, and really speaking, it's the location, and therefore the environment in that location which decides, biologically speaking, what these cells are going to become and how they are going to grow and all that. And now if you add to this idea, the sukshma jeev is entering in and directing as to how this will grow further. Whether it's going to grow into a beautiful body, a complete body, or incomplete body, with what defect and what, everything gets decided. Genes हर चीज के हैं उसके अंदर, लेकिन what will become activated is decided by this. And therefore the life is kind of programmed. Now, Bruce Lipton talks about this epigenetics. He says the same thing. Okay, it is the environment that decides what genes will become active. Now, that happens even in the embryo stage. And he has said that the experiences that you have had up to 7 years of your life decides how you are going to behave and live your life. Means all that gets stored in your subconscious becomes your pattern, your beliefs, and everything comes from there. And it begins from the embryo stage. So, really speaking, you feel that you have no control over it. Because in the early ages, up to 7 years of age, you don't have control over your environment. You might be in a violent environment, you may be in a very loving environment, you may be in a very safe environment, you may have been thrown to challenges in the environment. Even in the embryonic stage, you don't know. The mother might have consumed toxic material, medicines, alcohol, pungent food, or would have had sattvic food, would have had good music playing, would have had a good rest and sleep, would be meditating. All that is the environment of the embryo. So, all that decides, and through the life, 95% of your day is lived as per this pattern of your subconscious. But advantage is that you still have 5% of consciousness to use. Unfortunately, we find that most of us spend that 5% in feeling jealousy and greed and wanting things of likes, dislikes and things like that. And that also does not help us to change any of the non-beneficial pattern, if there is any. So our perception is mostly 95% guided by our stored subconscious pattern, but that 5% can create newer patterns and overwrite, replace the subconscious patterns. And what I could connect is कि we do reflection, and in reflection we are trying to see the whole day just as it was, how it happened. So really speaking, because he's saying it does not mean that you have to go back to your childhood and find out what was the condition then, what could you have been subjected to, what could have led to the pattern that you're having, कि वो करने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you just watch your day, the way you spend it, the way you perceive things, you will see a pattern. You will see what your beliefs are, etc. And having known that, you simply have to use your 5% conscious, which is very powerful if you remain aware of it and use it. And you can repeatedly form new patterns to replace the non-beneficial old ones. That's what yoga is. तो इतनी बार रिपीट करना है कि it becomes stronger than what is there in your subconscious. And that's what you are human for. And even in Samkhya Karika, it talks about 14 levels of existence, where it says the lower 5 are tamas predominant, the above 8 are sattva predominant, in between is human, which is rajas predominant. And in both tamas and sattva, they are by themselves inactive, so it can only do bhoga. But rajas predominant can also do something new. It can create, because there is rajas in it, there's motion in it, there's change possible in it. And this change is what we are supposed to do with that 5% consciousness. Change the old pattern. Now look at it from the Sukshma Sharira Bhavas point of view. It is possible for you to recognize the adharma, ajnana, raga and anashwarya and replace it with dharma, jnana, vairagya and aishwarya. And only humans can do it. And why to do it? It has to have a higher purpose. That is the purpose for which you were born. To know the unchangeful. To recognize that you are that Purusha. So if that purpose is kept in mind, even if you are eating food, you will eat for that highest good. If you are cooking food, you will automatically be guided by that highest purpose. Provided we bear that in mind, we can make our conscious mind change each and every pattern to this highest good.
Yes. True.
How powerful, no? We have so much power, but
अच्छा, ये जो तूने मुझे